Hello, one. Hello, all. Shout out to all you EPL folks out there and everyone that tunes in for BKI breakdowns. Apologies for the late breakdown. Had some craziness happen, and apologize for dropping the ball. Won't happen again. We're jumping in here for the second breakdown of the year, and what an interesting field we have. Looking very standard across the back. As you look to the left side of this field, you can see a snake that is going to bow out to the tape, which I like. A lot of creativity there. Then you look in the center and you've got this Eye of Sauron, Death Star type action going on. And then the Dorito side, not very often that we see bricks off center, which allow for some creativity and also some things that have to be kept in mind in terms of the way you play in your body positioning, because those bricks are not flush with the lines going across the field. They're angled, and that will create some interesting opportunities for play. So let's dive right into the back center and look at these lanes. A lot of great lanes on this field, a lot of good cross shots, a lot of opportunity for those of you that are taller or just have the guts to stand over the top and just take in where people are going to get some good kills. As you move up and into this back center, we'll zoom in here. You can see right away, great lane to the Doritos, great lanes breaking out on either side, and same thing with the snake. These are really good points to look at. And as always, you want to try and find those points of reference to put your paint. So what I mean by that is you can see there's a pole here, there's a pole here along the back line. Sometimes there's scrim, sometimes there isn't, but you just have to know that if you put your paint through a section where it will drop, and that's where you always want to put your lane. You never want to chase anybody. You want to pick your designated spot, aim there, shoot, put a good stream of paint, and then move on to the next. So again, as we can see, if you play over the top of this, there should be no reason why you do not know where people are going to the left and to the right. And then obviously the big spider sense tingling should be going on. If you don't see anyone really break out either way, that means more than likely someone came around the back center and went up the middle. But we can see right away, as we're studying on the edge, we'll make our way to the Dorito side to start off, that we could see start box to start box. There's no really hiding on this field. So, again, this is all 5 guns up on the break. I don't see, and that's a very quick assessment by me, but I don't see any reason why you should be head down running anywhere, not looking up, because the lanes are so big, both straight up and across the field. You have your gun up and shooting, you can eliminate your opponents. You don't have your gun up and shooting, you're going to get eliminated. So use your gun as a movable bunker. That is a force to be reckoned with. Maybe want to go grab mine and put it in my hands, but it's packed away because I practice. So again, this Dorito side, we'll step out here. We can see the start box. Just like I said, with over the back center, dividends will be paid here by turning off the box and shooting straight up the field to put pressure on the back center, because they have such good lanes for your runners and for anyone running up the middle. Now, in this orientation, our opponents are right-handed towards the snake. So we're going to look at some quick cross shots here as we come out. And you can see that it definitely opens up right here into the corner. There's our zone and into the snake. But the scary thing is that anyone could be right here, either coming around the right side, their right side of the back center up to this mini wall, or sitting over the top. And the longer you stay here, obviously, the more dangerous it's become. So this cross shot is still there as we move out, but kind of goes away. So you can see as you come out into this tower, that cross shot will still be there into the snake, not so much into the corner. Just gonna have to really dial that shot in. Look to possibly go deeper to avoid the shots from the back center. And if you keep your eyes as you're running out to your right on the back center, you might notice that no one is shooting at you. So that could give you the opportunity to kind of pause here. There is risk. I do like these towers, how they're set up. But you can also run out heads up and shoot at your mirror, putting paint back over these new juice boxes and into this tower, or to stand here and shoot back at anyone that might be in the blind over these bricks. So definitely something to look for. Really great spot here in this tower because you have a nice heads up gunfight. Gonna have to pay attention to see if there's any chance of paint that could be coming off of the Dorito into you. I highly doubt it, but this is something to look at. That Dorito is right there. Stranger things have happened in this game, but always pay attention to that. The first little Dorito you come to right here, I don't know that I'd ever want to come to this thing. You have nothing cross field. You're going to get trapped here from anyone that goes up the middle and that tower. And it's such a hard spot to play out of with someone going into that tower, being able to stand out and play both sides of the tower on you. Now, yes, you can play both sides of this Dorito, but to have to scramble out of here after putting a gunfight in low to only dive low makes it really hard. You're going to be on your knees diving in. So the benefit here would be going deep, using the Dorito 2 or Dorito 3, depending on how you name that, to block out that tower and either come straight up and into the Dorito 2, Dorito 3, or you can continue out wide into this, what's called Dorito 2. So the Dorito 3 gets blocked out. Really no risk of being shot heads up, unless, of course, you choose to run and shoot all the way. And as you can see, that first juice box here in the center is going to blind out the shots from the back center. That you blind out the back center, but not necessarily the shots. Paintballs can come over this thing. I guarantee you they'll be able to come over this thing and hit you if you go sloppy. Also, there's just this zone right here that people will be standing in. That's why it's beneficial, I'd say, to run and shoot out here and just flood the center with paint. Flood the center with paint. Find those points of references in the back so you can always keep your barrel trained, in this case, running out right to the left of it. So your momentum, as it carries you, keeps your paint more on target. And then you're going to obviously have to look in the center for anyone running up. So this whole zone is going to have to be pew, 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 filled with paint when you come out here. You running and diving out here and getting up and into your spot. The disadvantage you have is that the guys running at the middle of the field or going to that tower will still be up on their guns. They'll be shooting at you. So you can run all the way out here, dive into this Dorito, and like I said, dive your gun down as you come out here. Back center, tower, center player set up. Coming inside, tower, back center, juice box already set up. They're going to run and shoot to their spots, and you should run and shoot to your spots if those are positions you play. Same thing with this Dorito 3. Depending on the route you want to run, if you think it's valuable to run low, you can see that zone right here coming across into this spot. This zone is huge for anyone to shoot. So, the value of running low and into this spot is not all that great because the lanes are so big and there'll probably be multiple people shooting it. And again, you're way more valuable with your head up and your gun up, choosing to dodge lanes of paint and move around them. And then again, using your marker as that key tool for eliminating your opponents and then putting them in so you can make those moves. But as we can see here right away, we'll go back to these Doritos and check the snake. They have to be past the 50 to shoot you from here. Obviously, at that mini wall, they could be popping the top on that and shooting you. Probably not the smartest move because that's a snake insert bunker. And you're not going to really stop them from filling in unless they're playing sloppy and you just happen to have your gun that way and you're playing this bunker. Moving to the Dorito 2, that pin blocks out the shot from that snake. From most of the snake, all those shots are blocked off. Now, if they do come into your snake, is right here. But I don't see any reason why from this position you should be playing inside to hold either the tower or the back center when you could be doing it from the tape. And you're pretty well protected on the tape, unless, of course, your opponent comes to your side or they step way out to shoot you. It's just too much risk playing in here to want to get shot across field from the inside. Let's move to this next Dorito. Shots, again, really blocked out from the snake side. Not much you have to worry about. And again, there's no real reason, unless there's some crazy bounce shot that we haven't really seen up in the center, to be playing the inside of this. You could try and put the tower in on the inside and then dive back out, but it's just so open over here and you have such good containment on the outside that I would recommend staying over here, locking these shots down, wrapping, checking off on the center, and then moving up to the Dorito 4. Once we get here, now you could kind of look inside. Maybe again, you want to see if you can see anyone's backs as you come up through here. Either one of those 50 wedges standing up can be seen. As you come up, and keep your eyes looking infield. Look for those quick pack shots, leg shots, foot shots hanging at the back of those bunkers should they not be looking at you. Shots open up on the snake tower. There's still the back center. Playing the tape now, this is where this spot can really pay off, is almost sliding past this. If you don't see any pressure across the field, taking a quick look inside to see if you notice a corner or if you've already heard it communicated by your team, and then looking to get that quick crossfield shot. There is the can, however, right here in the snake. So you're gonna have to be mindful of anyone that's in here if they're playing. That's just keeping your eyes as you move, looking ahead, peripheral vision taking off to your left in this case to see who you can see. This will pay off for taller players. just to be able to come in here, pop the top, play over the top, and really just kind of make it rain. And then obviously the big thing too is anyone is looking to run you down on the inside. There's a lot of people that can protect you, but what better way than just to protect yourself by checking over the top, seeing where your opponent's playing. You're definitely gonna want to have a call for your opponent playing the inside versus the outside. Obviously you can say the tape or the inside, but just having, if you were to name you can almost think of this thing as a magnet. And these could be the poles, right? You've got the North Pole and the South Pole. So you can yell north, you can yell south, and just those north's call could be the tip over here, and the south could be the inside field. Obviously now we'd be talking about our opponents over here. So here's the south, here's the north. Again, simple thing to do. Not saying you have to do what I say, but just something to look at and think about for a call. So that way you can quickly identify where this person is. And if I'm playing here and I hear south, like, hey, it's south, 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 and I know that there's no one in the Dorito, maybe we shot that person on the break, I know I can run the tape and bunker this guy in the back. If I hear north, 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 I could pop the top and look to make the move either quickly through here and at him, or try to commit and go all the way around and take him on the highway. Very risky because there's so many people that can shoot you, protect this guy. But again, there's those small words, those key call outs can make a huge difference. Moving into your opponent's brick is going to be monumental. This is where you're really going to have to defend yourself. I would say you should be clear on the inside, and you probably are not going to want to look inside because the move can be seen by a lot of people. By a lot of people, I mean like 4. Snake, insert, center, tower, and I think my face is in the way. Yeah, the back center. And even that tower if it's populated. So 6, 7 people can see you. You're going to want to come in here, dig really tight in, bury yourself into this thing, and look to defend your tape and wrap right away. Hopefully you know if there's a tower or any one of the Doritos, the 2, 3, or 4 in front of you. And from there, I'd say just get ready to get to get in some close, crazy action. Moving on from that, you get those people eliminated. It's going to be huge that you don't throw your body away through this gap. Let the other team flood this area and shoot paint on it. Don't let me, again, watch out for any bounce shots coming off of this Dorito that could come into here, and just hold this zone. Don't let anyone fill out through this zone in here and come back over. You could just sit right through here, shooting paint, and prevent any movement, and then allow your teammates to get up behind you. When the opportunity does come to move, again, just make a smart move, get into this Dorito, get tight, because those snake players are going to know that they're going to have you. And when you're in here, the crazy thing is if I hear someone made this, you can look to move into this. It's hard to see, but there's the can right here in the snake, and try and shoot this person in the butt. But you're probably going to look to go past the 50 on the snake, and you really don't have it. You have to back up, and if you back up, that's where you get exposed. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at this. When you make your way in, you're going to have to play tight. You have to play the tape. You're going to have to control all that real estate that you should hopefully own, because this side should be blown out. If it's not blown out, just note that that tower can't really see you unless you come up high. You do that, you expose your back to the snake, and they can't run right at you. Again, it's probably going to be really hard to do because there's so many ways to defend this side of the field in the openings. But with that being said, as we come back over here, we're going to look at some other spots. Know that it's your job, if you're in this tower, to stay this way and defend your front player. Oh, excuse me, it's my water. To defend your front player and cover this zone, this zone, this zone. And then this is the big I don't know. Player makes it out to the Dorito 3, excuse me, the Dorito 2. So let's do this. 1, 2. I'm sorry. Wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4. Once they make it to that Dorito 2, it's going to be really hard to tell if they make that move from the tower out wide. Now you can drop paint on the outside of that and make it rain, but it's going to be your job to let your player know, hey, what's the call? Is it a danger? Is it a ghetto? Is it a broken arrow? I don't know, but they're going to have to know that that person is out there and you can no longer see them. And if you want to really keep people out of the Doritos, it's going to be this Dorito 2. Play heads up. You can put that line there. it is obviously a very small cut here to see if anyone makes it through that, but you should be able to do it if you're on your gun and holding. You get put in by this tower. Go paint. You go low. And you shoot through here or here. Now it's going to be interesting also to see if there's a bounce shot from the Dorito 4 into the Dorito 2 or Dorito 3. Pay attention to that and look to defend yourself. We'll get back to the center here. Strongest move you're going to have on this field, if you're not going to stand in the back center and shoot right-handed in this orientation or go out, is just coming up and using your gun. You should always be running and shooting up here and filling that zone, because the best case scenario is you don't get shot at, the player just runs out, and you could come to this spot and stand over the top and just shoot the cut past the Dorito 1 into the Dorito 2 and Dorito 3. And not let anyone fill out, and then also catch anyone trying to sneak up and expose themselves a little bit on their left side, your right, or delay out to the tower. You just come over the top of this. You really don't have to worry much about the snake side because you can be doing the same thing over here and the lanes are so good. But this is just such a powerful spot to sit here and be, especially when you work with your Dorito tower and confirming how far the widest player got, right? If you know that they made it to that Dorito 3, which is the inset one, not the Dorito 2, you're going to want to look to make a move up to this juice box, which is pretty easily played. They have to get all the way to your side of the field to shoot you, or wrap around that wedge in the snake, which they shouldn't really be doing. But you're going to come in here and get tight. Again, you can play the outside of this, but the most important thing then is defending these cuts on the Doritos and forcing those players to engage with you in order to make a move forward. And again, the big key to this that I know all my fellow professors would say, Tyler, Nick, Marcelo, Ryan, they would all say, hey, communication. It's going to be huge that you communicate with your outside guys, your tower, or listen, because communication goes two ways. Listen to them to identify where these players are, who's shooting what zone, and who's going to cover those zones should you need to come off it to move forward and get in a better position. I don't really like this wedge all that much on the Dorito side because you can't see anything. You're just waiting. I do like this wedge on the Dorito side, the right 51, because you can get low, really tight, and just sit here and wait and force them to have to dig you out and just shoot your gun. I don't think being sneaky in here and waiting for players to move is going to work, unless, of course, they've already made it. If they've already made it out to the Dorito 2 and Dorito 3, the Dorito 2 on the outside is a different story because they can't see you on the inside. Dorito 3, however, the inside Dorito can see you on the inside. And chances are, once they've seen you, the game is up. I would say now, noticing the angles from here, it might be a smart move if you're in the Dorito 3 to back up on the inside. What I mean by that is if you discover someone's in this spot, you're looking here, you see your opponent, you can sneak back into this Dorito and then come at them from the tape. That's definitely a viable option to have happen here. And that's also something, again, flip side, as an attacker up the middle, you're going to have to be weary of if there is that one person here. But I would say be on your gun. I would not want this person to breathe, and I would just pound their bunkers and the sides of them just to not let them have a chance to do anything. And again, you're fairly close to your opponent from here, so shooting their bunker is going to make it really loud and could cause them to panic and really focus in on you and the inside shot, and then again allow your teammates to make progress down that Dorito tape and get closer to them. And then obviously, if you eliminate anyone wide, sitting here on this tape tight on this tower, you can see both sides of it to control the zone is huge. And what that means is that if you have a game plan, and I see this happen all the time, we've done it as the Ironman, any professional team I've played on has made this mistake. If you have a game plan where, let's go back and up. Okay, so if we have a game plan where we want player A to come up here, come on lines, what's going on? There we go. We'll switch it up here. To come up here I'm gonna have to well on. Let's redo this. There we go. We want player A to come up to this spot and control these zones through here. Player B and C cannot be playing the tapes and just shooting the opponent in and not letting them breathe. You have to kind of give it up. Tower's gonna have to look across. Dorito's just gonna have to sit here, or again, in sitting here, give that feedback, yelling, communicating, yelling, screaming. Don't scream. To your front guy, player A, is, hey, where's the paint coming from? Is it coming from the inside? Is it coming from the outside? When I get out here, did I see someone in the center? Did I see a juice box? Were they doubled up in the back center? All that information is vital, but you can't be playing the tape on the outside from any of these spots like a crazy person, and then just let this person sit here and not be able to let your opponent move out. You have to bait them into taking those moves. The flip side, again, there's always a give and take with this. If you are looking to move out from those spots and the move is too good to be true, and you're like, why is no one really engaging me? Chances are there's probably someone up in the middle in this spot here waiting for you to move. You can, on the snake side, do somewhat of the same thing, but it's going to have to be a really big call, a good call across the field that they're only in the corner or not in the corner and not in the snake. You could have a Superman call for that. An S word really works pretty well to communicate that there's no one over here. But again, you're going to have your gun shooting through the zone from the mini wall into the snake one, in between those zones right here, to pick up anyone moving in. It's a blind move for you to see that. It's a free move for them, and you're going to have pain in the ear to get it. So I'd say the focus is here. You can move up to close out the game in here, but I would say hopefully everyone is eliminated from the back center over. Your move is going to be better off on your feet and not cutting to the inside, because as you cut to the inside, this bunker blocks out your whole vision, and that gives that back center or that center mini wall player the freedom to move up or out. So stay to the tape, wrap on the tower, edge out using the juice box to block out the back center, and this is where you see the corner, and as you come up and look to get that elimination here on anyone cross. I really like the center brick, brick mini wall, because of the ability you're going to have to play over the top of this. I could see this being doubled up easily, and it's going to the spoils of the victor on this one are going to go to the players that like to play over the top and stay on their gun, and can just control people and communicate effectively where people are at. Didn't really quite look at the cross shot here. People are going to be able to get down low. I do like this shot. It's kind of sneaky into the corner over the edge of the can. I guarantee you'll be able to get some eliminations from that. Should you hear from your corner player that they're shooting their mirror, so that we know that it's snake corner and snake corner. And we can look over and we see our snake corner just playing the tape. Drop some paint on the inside. I've only slightly looked at the layout from that side, and I know that shot should come in, and that's a great elimination to get. Back center from towards the snake side, pretty good. The one thing I do want to say, I forgot to mention this, is that your back center is probably such a strong point here to really hold the keys to this Dorito side and lock this down. This is where I forgot to mention this, that from this tower, if there's no one in the back center and they get out wide to that Dorito 2-3, you could fill back right here and shoot the cuts into the Doritos. Just like I said, the Dorito 3 can move back to the Dorito 2. The Dorito tower can move back to the back center and just shoot those shots. Really kind of sneaky. The one thing I did kind of look at too is there might be a crazy chance that shooting off the inside of your mirror could go into the back center when you're here. Again, something you're just gonna have to do a quick shot on, see how effective that is. Maybe you guys already know. Hopefully you already know, since you should be practicing this later already. But we'll move back to the snake side. Excuse me. Really strong shots on the snake side. Again, you're going to have to pick your lanes, and it's going to be a lot easier for those that are over the top of this thing, I feel. Because as we zoom in here, we can see the edge of that tower for, where's my yellow line? As a point of reference, I guarantee you shooting paint right over the top of this juice box will go into the runners going out to the corner, and possibly even into the snake runner. The one thing I do want to say that I've noticed a lot of people like to do is they'll come high, especially when shooting at the snake side. They'll come high and drop down low when shooting the snake. That, again, that drops your whole lane of paint. If you're not compensating correctly and bringing your barrel tip up as you drop low, your paint's going to drop low. And a lot of the mistakes I see younger divisional players make is they just shoot too low with their lanes. They're just too low. And when in doubt, always aim a little bit higher. Always aim higher. I'd rather shoot a little bit higher and have the chances of maybe some inconsistent paint, or just a ball that doesn't come out at 290 feet, it comes out at 279, and that ball drops in and hits your opponent as you're going out, as opposed to that consistent stream, which we all know that all of our markers would have. And of course, everything works perfectly. But that's just one of the things I've always thought about, is I like to be higher. The lower you are, paint really isn't bouncing off the ground and hitting people. But great shots here. Really big thing to pick up on here too is that if you are going to stay here and shoot and not go directly up the middle, it's going to be so vital. Same thing with the Dorito side, but I think more of the snake, because of these really defined lines of going through these cuts, is if you don't see anyone cut through here, that is such a huge red flag. You have to know, if no one goes through this zone and the widest person you see is the tower, communication. Who's going to hold this zone? When do we move up? Are we going to get up to this mini wall here and shoot? No, we're going to stay back here in the back center and control that whole zone. As soon as we move up here, that left wedge blocks out a lot of our shot. We're going to sit up here, going to keep that zone filled and yell out the call for whatever it is, that no one went past the tower or the elimination happened, and you are now holding it, because you can't hold it from this tower. You can't see mirror to mirror, and you're going to allow your opponent to make a fill out, even if it's this little cake. Excuse me. That's still someone getting out wide and now drawing this gun to the mini cake in the back center. Can't see the mini cake. So it's really going to be big to sit here and hold that zone. If you have a player coming up here to talk about going up to shoot Dorito away, to let them know, so they know that no one's wide over there. Maybe something's happening on the Dorito side, at the middle towards them, that they can plug those puzzle pieces in and put the bodies where they are on this chessboard of a field. So as we move over here, this is huge, because the cross shot on the D side is really big. Kind of looked at that from that back center. This is the only other spot that can really control any forward progress from the Dorito 2 and Dorito 3. Really big. Now, you obviously from this, you cannot tell if they've made it out there. It's all going to be communication. But you are the safety valve should anything happen to these guys on the outside, and you have to immediately switch your gun and shoot to the outside of the Dorito 2 and Dorito 3 to that Dorito 4. It's going to be huge, and it's going to be one of those things that you have to drill in your head and just remember that should the call come in, one word call, that they need help, you're going to immediately have to come off your gun shooting snake way and just start pumping paint through this zone over here. No questions asked. This is a big zone you do not want your opponents to get through, and you are that safety valve. It's not going to be the center guy who can get put in. It's not going to be the Dorito guys. It's going to be you over here. So pick a color, pick a football team, pick a city, find something unique, so that this player, all players, should you even find yourself over here, know the call and know that your job is to fill that zone with paint should the time arise, and I guarantee you it will. I do like this mini cake because, as I said before, if you choose not to go wide, this is a nice little spot that you can dump off, and you can just chill here. Chill, sit, let people shoot at you, let people shoot their paint, especially if you're up on points, the clock is working with you, and just hang out. You can sit low here. There's a field out MAO years ago, I think, that had a layout kind of like this with a mini cake. You could play the tape, you can shoot at the corner. You're going to see the paint whizzing past you from the tower, and it's just going to be a timing thing on when you dive out or dive up. You can play the tower on the inside. You can sneak peek in that mini wall. I mean, if you could get to this spot here and you know that the mini wall in the center is looking snake way, and the tower is on you, and there's a corner, you got 3 guns shooting at you. That's huge. Get your guys up the middle. Again, lay the trap. They're concentrated on you. You can let your guys in the center move up, get to those zones. We'll move to the juice box after this, and just hold and wait for someone to fill. Snake corner. Booyah. Now, I did talk about the shot on the inside. It is there. You're going to be able to drop paint over this cam and into your mirror, which I love. And that's going to allow that cross shot to happen. So that's one of those things to keep in mind too. Go lower. When I'm here, I'm not just going to shoot this outside edge. I'm going to put paint over here too to drop into the corner. And then we're going to look for the wrap. It is important to note, at least from this view, and obviously these things change when you get to the layout at the field, is that you will be able to stop people coming around the wedge into the 50. So keeping your gun up and down this is very important. And this is also shows, because you can stop people, how valuable this corner is for you to work with your snake player to get past or into the 50 and past the 50 by just controlling your mirror and controlling the outside. You're going to have to look out for the drop shot. The tower's going to have it on you. You're going to have it on the tower should you get taller over these pins into this guy over here. They'll be able to play both sides of the spot and just dump paint over these pins and into the corner and into this snake insert bunker right here. Let's move over to the juice box really quick. So I want to check out. Yeah, so again, people like to dump into that mini cake. They don't make it past the tower. You can come here and control from here. You're very well protected from the Dorito side. There's really no reason to kind of look over there. You have no shots. But this is a halfway decent spot just to sit here and lock stuff down. It will be harder to kind of back up, but you can do that very well from here and look to move up, edge out the back center should you get eliminations. This is actually a really cool little spot where you put the tower in, or you know that the tower is concentrating on the wide runners or wide players, excuse me. You'll be able to see if the back center is shooting through this cut. So we look behind us, they're going to have this zone right here. If you see their paint, you can edge them out low, put them in, choose to come back, choose to come up and take over the zone now to control the outside, or move into this can, and from this can sit low, tell your tower player to come off shooting their zone here, and you just wait for someone to fill out, and hopefully they decide to commit to the corner of the snake insert, and you can eliminate them. And then you wrap here, and from wrapping here, you've got the center wall, mini wall, the juice box, and then the cuts for the back center to fill out, and then ultimately wrapping in the tower. We'll head back. Oh my goodness, into the snake insert. I love these mini walls and snakes because the opportunity it lets you get how it lets you get creative in playing over the top and the sides using this hump in the middle. You know, so many people like us to come here and get low. And as you can see, as we do that, there's a tower we can play with. But you could time it out just right to where you're here. As we come up, it's just a matter of walking the field and knowing where to line yourself up with this pin, or any point of reference behind the pin on the netting, to come up and shoot a shot into the tower from here, standing up and shooting. Over here, wrapping on the tower or the Dorito and just putting pressure on them. And as you come out, using your marker to come out, put them in, and then run forward, shooting at the tower player and diving into the spot and looking for anyone in the center. And if you're not sure, coming to the inside, looking for people. Look at that. Both those Doritos are in line right there. Looking for that. Again, we talked about this. I said this right away with the Doritos. I don't see any point to looking in, and this is one of those reasons. You know, most people like to come low here. If you pop over the top, the one thing you don't want to do is give them this one opportunity to shoot you. But some people like to just sit cross on Doritos for no apparent reason. You don't want to because of this. This spot right here is at the inside of the tower, and two of these, the Dorito 2 and Dorito 3. Don't get eliminated by this guy getting an easy elimination because you were playing the insides of those spots for no reason. If you are feeling the pressure on the outside from the tower, the mini cake, you can come this inside route here. Obviously, the only risk is going to be that tower and anyone playing over the top of the center mini wall, stuff in the center. I mean, that's your responsibility to be aware of. So you just have to know that those need to be checked off before you make this move. Your biggest threats are those. Getting into the snake. This pin is kind of crazy. I don't like the way pins get lined up with these beams ever, especially when they're at an angle. I would not look to play this spot. What this just means to me is that, again, if you come out wide in here, you're in the danger zone for someone being tall to drop paint in. Hug these beams, stay low. Even if you bump them and they move, they know where you're at. Let them, because you want to get up in here and get tight, get safe. And from this spot, you're looking to play the whole bunker, defend your tape, shoot the corner, shoot your mirror, pop the top on the back center, starting with the tower in the back center. And then if they're eliminated, instead of getting low and crawling, just stand up and pivot onto those Doritos. Don't give your opponent, by crawling down this field and getting on your stomach, the ability to fill back and out, because it's really hard. It'd be really hard for this person here or here behind you to prevent any fill over to the back center or out to the tower. It's very hard for them to do that. It's a really long shot. It's hard to see. Those pins are in the way, the can's in the way. So pivot, just pivot, sit out in this back center. You know, if you're going to make the move, again, little gopher head poke, little groundhog. Hey, where are those Dorito guys at? Are they on me? If they are on you and they're flooding the zone, just be mindful of the paint coming across through here from those Doritos, from, well, that's a D, from the D side. D side. Oh yeah, I love this app. Before you make the move, I would always recommend doing this with your gun up. If the tape is blown. Tape's not blown, you have to defend yourself. We'll look to see if it's worth it to get down in here. This is a really sketchy spot because anyone can step out wide and more than likely they're going to shoot you, because you're not going to be able to play as tight as you'd like with the way the beam sits in this can. And the rewards for shooting crossfield are almost non-existent. I would not want to play, no matter what my size is, that tower on his feet and me in this low spot here. And now they know, and I can't make this move into my opponent's side of the field really without that can then putting pressure on me and just looking for it. And once I'm in here, you're going to feel the pressure over the top. It's not going to be too hard for someone to fill up here and just come around and one-hand gangster at you, pop the top, jump the highway, which is something I forgot to cover here. Not the worst move if you can put, you know, the back center is not there, not looking at you, and the tower's not, to hop this thing up, over, and just look to run straight at your opponent's beam and take this guy out. The only sketchy thing is going to be that mini wall. Where are they looking? Are they in there? Chances are the players in the center, should the game evolve or break down, they probably, you'll have a good idea if they're looking towards you or they're on you. But chances are, I think that the dividends pay off looking towards your side, so that move is there. But once we get into your opponent's side of the field, again, pivot. You're going to want to pivot, stay tight to this edge, and take care of what's in front of you. Corner, snake insert, mini cake, blind out the tower, wrap on the Doritos here, and then check off on the back center. And just stay alive. This is a big, after this point, this is a big no man's land right here. You're really probably not going to want to get low on your belly and crawl and move down. The one thing I will say, and you need to set up some rules here, is that if we're playing and I see that my player has made it past our snake, I want to be here or with him in our snake. I don't want to be sitting back here. Why? Because I'm going to have such a hard time stopping anyone from filling out. If we get a kill out of this tower here and the back center is still hot, it's going to be really easy for that back center to fill into this tower. And I'm not really going to be able to stop him from the back center. Sure, I can shoot at him, but it's going to be easy for him to fill out this tower and then possibly even get all the way out here to the corner. If I'm standing over the top of this, that doesn't look very good. Pink. If I'm standing over the top of this through here, I can control this zone, that straight line. And then if I'm here, as I said before, you could pivot and play over the top right there and cover all of this while your teammate crawls down the field. Like once your teammate makes it past the 50 end of their side, you have to be here or here playing the tape. You're not going to do your teammates any good sitting back here at all. Get down the field, get up, attack, especially if you're down points. Obviously, game time and situation can play into it. Let's set up some quick game plans here. As I said before, I highly value 5 guns up off the break on this field. And because of that, I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is like super standard running and shooting to your spots. Tape. You know what? I'm gonna redraw my squares here really quick. So first person is going to come out here into this zone, and you are looking for anyone up through here and a safety shot here. Your first shot is going to be on the tape, unless, of course, as you're coming off the box, you could see someone standing over the top of the back center shooting because they're going to be right-handed in this orientation. They're right-hand snake way. So if you see the back center over the top shooting snake way, right-handed, you're going to want to put your first balls alternate or rotate your lane in and shoot them in the back center. My second body is going to be deep, and when you're deep, you are shooting here and here, which lets my other body come up, and this will kind of change that, I guess. The first lane for this back guy should just be out and concentrating on this area. And my player running up, and I'll do this in pink. As you run up, go online. As you run up here, do a dash line here. You're going to be shooting these zones here and then over the top, and just really be looking for any moves out or up, going D heavy. And we are right-handed in this orientation, so maybe it makes a little bit more sense. Then I have my back center here, doubling the back center just for the breakout. Why won't you draw? My mouse is going. Maybe that's what's going on here. Shooting these zones right here, and then the last body in the tower quickly, like running and shooting deep quick. You come out here, and as you come up, you're shooting the outside to verify where people go. If they make the snake, you're gonna want to flood this zone. And then that's where this back center player here looks to get out, possibly to the corner, but I would look to make that double fill in with your tower player and allow them to go out and up towards the snake. So pretty standard 5 guns up breakout. If we want to be more, not what I wanted to hit. If we wanted to be more aggressive, we're going to do this. Click, click. All the way out up here. Going all the way up. Now, obviously, this line, you know, don't go that wide. Here to here, corner, tower, and then back center. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Emphasis being with the zones, the lanes, outside, up, straight line here. I apologize for the yellow line here. I would say, again, go wide and shoot up, and then your player going out to the corner, you're running, shooting infield, and you're going to look to play this, and then you are going straight up into the snake all the way around. That would be my aggressive push play here. And then one really quick alternate thing would be 2 players looking to come up here and then filtering up to the Dorito side, and this player here holds and communicates. This is going to be such a strong, if there's ever a good name for a command center on the field, this is going to be it, to be able to yell to either side of the field and back to bring in that communication. And then again, ultimately, if you needed to fill back to these spots, I would see more of these players filling up into that spot, because again, the fortune will favor the bold, but it's standing over the top and just shooting zones. So there you have it. EPL number 2. Yeah. Oh, that's my box there. Boo. So, hey, thank you guys from all of us at BKI. We appreciate you tuning in. I wish you all the best of luck on this layout. I'm actually going to be playing this layout at practice. This is going to be our blind layout that no one knows in preparation for Texas. I know it. Shh, don't tell my team. But I wish you all the best of luck, and stay tuned for more from all of us at BKI. Thank you again.